So this feels like one of those like pause the recording, go to ads.openai and immediately start asking for your account. It only takes one spark, one insight, one idea to create the exponential growth you desire. Welcome to the Growth Mode Podcast, where we share the strategies for your growth. Hey, welcome back to Growth Mode. It's been a while, but I got the posse together on a podcast. We have a lot to talk about. Jimmy and I were just at the SaaStr Conference, coming out of the Bay Area where everybody's freaking out. It's at the end of software, the beginning of AI. But just recently, some news has broke around ChatGPT running ads. So I asked, Jason, have you changed your middle name to Claude yet?
No. It's my grandfather's name. I got to keep it Charles, but close enough.
I think most of us that know you that you were ChatGPT love bug, and now you are basically Mr. Claude.
Just shows you my loyalty, right?
Well said. All right, so buckle up, my friends. The very first thing I want to talk about is ChatGPT just launched ads. I've got 3 questions I think the average person listening to this is going to want to understand. 1, what should the mindset be around this, right? Number 2, what do you think is the difference between this versus running ads on Zillow, Realtor, Homes, Redfin, which you wouldn't do anymore, Meta, Google, LinkedIn, YouTube ads? There's a lot of different ads that agents could be running today.
Yep.
Why should they be thinking about this? How should they be thinking about this? And then the last one is, what action do you recommend they take ASAP? So let's just go there, and then we'll jump to Jimmy and I on SaaStr. What's your mindset about this?
Yeah, my mindset. So my mindset is incredibly bullish. So you already named a lot of names of popular ad platforms. If you could go back in time, anybody listening or watching this podcast, and say, hey, if I could quadruple down on Facebook ads when they first came out, would you do it? And the answer is, heck yeah, you'd do it. The early opportunity is where the early bird gets the worm. Same with Google PPC. Think back to, I remember when Google Local Services ads came out. All of our clients in the ecosystem were like, don't tell anybody, please don't R&D this. Please don't get the word out, because it was just pay dirt for the folks who got in early because the word wasn't out and the market wasn't saturated. And then eventually it became incredibly saturated and the gig was up, so to speak, in terms of it being what it was. Zillow Premier Agent, we could just go through and name different platforms of massive opportunities. So here comes along ChatGPT. Just based upon the history of new ad platforms and new channels, I'm bullish just because of that. What's more, so ChatGPT ads, just for anybody who's wondering, where do you run them? You go to ads.openai.com. You have to create an ad account to run ads for your business there. They're currently accepting local businesses at the time we're filming this podcast. Not everybody's eligible yet. They just rolled it out. So back in February, ChatGPT launched a pilot program, but you had to be like Target or Best Buy or Vistaprint to be a part of that. It was huge ad budgets, and this is all really new. So if you're watching this show close to when we publish it, man, this is the ground floor opportunity to get in. Go to ads.openai.com, create your ad account. It might take a few days to get approved because a lot of people are piling in right now. But here's where the ads show. So we already know that consumer behavior is changing. Questions that we used to Google years ago, what do we do now? We go to ChatGPT and we spill our guts, pour our heart out on ChatGPT to try to get answers. This is going to be different than Meta ads, different than Google ads, because people are so, for lack of a better word, they're intimate with ChatGPT and they're looking to make decisions. So when I think about a traditional sales funnel, and Jimmy, I'd love your take on this. You got your top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. I'm all about the bottom of funnel opportunity because those are the conversations going down right now in ChatGPT. The folks who could see the ads, and where do the ads show up? So they're only eligible to be shown to free users on ChatGPT and Go users. If you're paying for Plus Pro Business.
Slow down. Say that again. So
yeah. So only free users and Go users, which are paying the few bucks a month, are the only ones eligible to see ads. Now, that may sound like, oh, well, that's no fun. That's most everybody who's using ChatGPT. Most people aren't paying for ChatGPT except for people like us. We're not going to see ads in our usage of ChatGPT. They will. They're not going to be in the answer. So if you think about a question that somebody might ask ChatGPT, they might say like, hey, who's the best realtor in Boston, selling in the North End for a cool condo, blah, 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 something like that. And you'll see an answer from ChatGPT that makes what are called citations. It links to the websites that it grabs the info from in the answer. That's the organic side of AI search, which we've been talking about for 2 years now in terms of how to optimize your answer engine optimization, AEO. At the bottom of that, you're going to start to see some ads. They're going to be little kind of rounded edge modals. They're going to have a little square photo of you, a headline, and a quick blurb of description text. And you can have different objectives. You can do ads for reach, which just means getting folks to see your ads, for clicks, and they're even allowing conversion tracking. So for more advanced users, they're letting you actually install kind of like a Facebook pixel, a version of that on your website, so you can actually track it to conversions. I'm all about the clicks at the moment because it's just a straight up pay for the clicks. They're estimating $3 to $5 a click, which is a reason why I'm not suggesting you go after top or middle of funnel. If you're going to pay $3 to $5 just for a click, I'm going for the touchdown. I want the client.
Boy, does this feel a lot like Google local services
It
ads.
does.
And the thing that because they're making it hyper local, right? And they
Yeah.
get loved about the early days of Facebook ads because we can say target this zip code, that zip code,
Yeah.
this area, and then all that stuff got eliminated. So it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
feels like a moment in time. So I just went on to Grok
Yeah.
to do some research on ChatGPT. ChatGPT has 900 million weekly active users, but only 50 million paid subscribers.
Exactly.
So that means 94 to 95% of the people
That's
really
right.
seeing ads. So this feels like one of those like pause the recording, go to ads.openai and immediately start asking for your account.
Yeah. And
One thing I'd do there, guys, on the position. I have a question there for you, Jason, but the positioning of the ad, because I think right now, if I understand it correctly, it's a little bit like the Wild West. You can't. It's not like what we're used to with keyword based, right?
well, it's a
As
little
fun and
different.
on.
I'll add to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
going.
So I think from my perspective, what's the ad that everybody can run right now who goes to ads.chatgpt.com? Well, the one I would immediately go to, knowing that you don't necessarily have a ton of control over where it shows up, is I would have an ad that says like, find out why ChatGPT recommends me. And it's just an open-ended hook. And then I would drive them to a landing page, which basically says, I'm the most advanced agent. In fact, the fact that you're on this page right now shows you that like I'm actually always pushing the boundaries for my clients, such as advertising on ChatGPT. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm probably the only person in our area who's actually doing this. Here are 10 other innovative things I do to help my clients get the best results. Like, so I would actually do I love the idea of driving conversion with it, Jason, but I would take a little bit of a two-step with it, which is find out why ChatGPT recommends me. And I would just sort of tell them that, hey, I advertise on ChatGPT. No one else does this in my market, which is another example of why I'm actually good at my job.
I like that. Let me add to it as well. So you mentioned that they don't quite do keywords the way Google did. So just
Yeah.
for everybody to jog your memory, when you're bidding for ads on Google, you choose keywords. Hey, when somebody in this geographic area that you define types in this word or this phrase, I want to bid $5 to get you to see my ad, or 50 cents
Yeah.
to get you to see. Well, that's traditional Google. In ChatGPT, they don't call them keywords. They let you write what's called a context hint, which is about a 2 to 4 sentence short paragraph that describes who it is you want to target. This is something we painstakingly created for our members inside of AIM. And we gave them a library of 25 context hints to run ads on. But we gave them a formula. How do you write a context hint? If you can, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this, everybody. Think of it as a math formula. The persona, who is the customer you're talking to? The location, make it always local. Where are they based? What's their intent? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to learn or get a question answered on? And then the moment is the timing or the trigger of the event. And so we put all those together, those elements, and we wrote 25 different context hints. And they're just short little one-liners. Like here's one, we called it positioning moments. And it says people in city or metro who are getting ready to buy or sell a home, trying to figure out which real estate agent to work with. They want to know what top performing agents the area are, who has the best track record in their specific market or price range, and how to choose someone they can trust with one of the biggest financial decisions they'll make. You plug that in, you just copy it and plug it into the ad. And then we just threw in, you have to include a headline and you have to include a sample description. And those are the parts of an ad. I mean, quite frankly, these
Yeah.
things are really easy to run.
Yeah.
They're really easy. You just say, I want to get clicks. Here's a headline. Here's a description. Jimmy, I thought what you said earlier about having your web page really optimized for conversion is going to
Yeah.
be key. Because I would argue, fellas, this is where Google ads fail for a lot of agents. They spend all their time making an ad and they drive clicks to a website, and the website just completely butterfingers and drops the ball. And so I think you got to start thinking, how do I make sure that my website that they've clicked to is the solution to whatever that
Yeah.
intent was I'm trying to jump in on their conversation with?
So, with that said, should we not be asking our friend listening, should they take their website, ask Claude to analyze it based upon,
Yeah.
make some recommendations?
So what we
Boy, does that open a can of worms.
It does. So I did this yesterday. I was just messing around with my middle name, Claude, and I was setting up a workspace, not a workspace, sorry. I was setting up a co-work agent. I'm conflating back to ChatGPT's names, a co-work agent. And I gave it the website of one of our clients here's the website. Here are the 25 different context hints. Go to their website and figure out what pages they already have that would be a good fit for any of these context hints. So we were able to get a working solution with what we already had. But I definitely think there's an opportunity, Tom, to do what you just said, which is go the next step and really make sure you're analyzing what does this person need to find on my website that's going to make them convert.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So let's put a bow on this. They need to go there. They need to think through everything you discuss in terms of the ad strategy.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Do you still own AIM? Is that still a platform you're a part of? I'm messing. Are there going to be ads that you're going to be recommending to AIM members? Will you eventually publish some of those for free? Maybe for people that are listening to this right now. DM you or something, Jason. Will you be nice?
Of course I'll be nice. I need to think of a mechanism for it. We will. So it depends on when this episode comes out. I'll tell you what I'll do. In the upcoming week or two, I'll do an Instagram post where I unlock this for everybody. So y'all can all get this. So just be watching. So go follow me on Instagram and look for that video. You'll find it. It'll be the one talking about 25 different ChatGPT ads to run. One note that if we're going to tie a bow on this needs to be said. This is not a platform where you drive low intent, top of funnel kinds of conversations. I'm not going to go run ChatGPT ads that say, search for homes here. I'm not going to run ads that say, find out what your house is worth, fast and free here. That's top of funnel stuff. And quite frankly, for two reasons, I wouldn't suggest those. One, the nature of the dialogue the customer is presumably having with ChatGPT is so deep, you're squandering an opportunity to insert yourself at that critical moment. Number two, ChatGPT is no dummy. They know it is, and the cost per click is such that you don't want to pay for top of funnel clicks. You want to pay for $3. They clicked over to my website and they converted, meaning they called me, they booked an appointment. So the context hints that we're going after are situations like they're looking for the best agent. One of my favorites is their listing is on the market and it's stale, not selling. What should they do? And so we're looking we found 25 critical moments where this is a ready to rock, ready to go buyer or seller. And their next move is to talk to an agent. It's not to do something anonymous. It's not to set up a custom home search. They're going to want to meet you because they're looking for you. And those are the situations to pursue.
All right. Before we transition, for my friend watching, if you're on YouTube, comments, thoughts, let us know what you're thinking based on everything Jason just said there. Can you connect the dots on, boy, if I could have bought every Zillow lead back in the day at $25 a lead, knowing what I know now, I would have pulled all the money out of my house and bought more leads because it would transform your business. We're at one of those moments of time. But I also think, Jason, people oftentimes when they're doing digital ads have what's the best way to describe it? Like their expectations are off.
Yeah.
Right. If you get 100 people that click on your ad and you have some way to get a form fill and you convert 1 to 2%, that's okay.
That's great.
Right. For the cost that you spend on these ads versus say a Zillow lead or any other sort of more mature ad strategy. So just go into it with the right expectation. That's my first thing.
Totally.
Let's transition. Jimmy, you and I were just at SaaStr. I have
Mhm.
two Zen learnings. I want to share the first one because it's an easy one. And then
Yeah.
you do yours and I'll do mine, and we'll see if we can get this done in a reasonable time. So, so if you haven't been or you haven't heard about a conference called SaaStr, Jimmy, it was 10 years ago. No, it was
Mhm.
11 years ago when I was
Mhm.
walking through the hallways and I look over and I'm like, hey, that's Jimmy Mackin from Curator. And that's where we connected back when there was maybe 1,500 people going to this software as a service event. Now I'm a
Mhm.
business coach, so we have service as a service and then later built software and then AI tools, etc. So it's always been a conference that I've gone to understand like what's Microsoft thinking about, what's Salesforce thinking about, what's HubSpot thinking about, and then what are all these crazy startups doing. So we were
Mhm.
just there together, two of the presidents of our companies, Jimmy, another friend of ours, ran into some other friends, which is always fun. The Zen learning I had from this, the first one was the AI rate of improvement has continued to accelerate. And you
Mhm.
know that, and I know that. But here's why I bring it up. Whatever you tried in the past and you said,
Mm.
"Eh, that wasn't that great," or "I did a Hey Gen video, but I was moving like this," or "my fingers got really long." The rate of improvement of that product has been so tremendous. I want you to think about what were you enamored by? What were you excited about in the past? But when you saw the product, it wasn't ready yet. Go back to it again. And the thing that I got, and Jimmy, you know this from my conversations with Josh, was AI SDRs, AI
Mhm.
appointment setters, AI inbound and outbound that you can train over time to make phone calls on your behalf, to schedule meetings for you, but to be that voice. When I first tested this 3 years ago, the latency was horrible. Like, so let's role play. Ready? Jason, you're the person I'm calling. Hi, is this Jason?
Yep. Hello.
Hi, Jason. That's how bad the latency was. Well,
Yeah.
now it's, hey, I'm calling for Jason.
Hey.
Hey, Jason, it's Larry over at Tom Ferry. I mean, it is the
Yeah.
rate of improvement has been so tremendous that for my friend watching, if you were like me and my friends here, you were early adapters with a lot of the new features and products and tools.
Yep.
All that stuff that you looked at a long time ago has become exponentially better.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
would
True.
say, just be open-minded to take another look. And the next time you get a phone call from Tom Ferry, it could be an AI SDR. All right, Jimmy, what was your Zen learning coming out of this?
Well, there are so many parallels that are happening right now in the SaaS industry that are equivalent to what's happening in real estate.
Yes.
What do I mean by that? Right now in SaaS, you have these sort of two different tiers of companies. One group of companies that is basically being killed by the market. These are expensive, old, traditional workflow tools that are effectively, it's harder to sell, it's harder to market, it's harder to generate leads, and they're making less money. In fact, these companies who have sort of failed to adopt AI are seeing sort of structural decline, both in the public markets and the private markets. And on the flip side, you have a new category of companies that are emerging that are sort of these younger, hotter startups that are have these incredible AI tailwinds that are reaching extraordinary revenue numbers in what feels like months, not even years. But then there's a third category, and there's probably the most interesting thing for me, Tom, which is the re-acceleration category. These are
Yes.
existing businesses who have adapted to the new world that we live in that are experiencing sort of this absolute like
Mm.
hockey stick growth. Atlassian, which one of the companies that was actually there is one of the companies that really is a perfect representation of this. They were flat growth. Now they've grown 28% in the last year, which is incredible for the company of their size. Same thing with Twilio. Flat growth. They ousted their CEO. Now all of a sudden they're becoming sort of an essential tool to the AI workflows. They're re-accelerating. So many of the people who watch our podcast are existing agents who have existing tools, existing workflows, existing people, and they're not looking to throw everything out, right? And just start over. They're looking to re-accelerate. And
Mm.
so one of the big learnings I had was today, if we look at our industry, everybody is focused on the broker. I mean, EXP acquiring Next Home, Real acquiring Remax, going back Compass acquiring Anywhere, and whatever Zillow's doing this month. Everyone's focused on the broker, but the agent has always been more important than the broker.
Yes.
And I think it's important to say that for the record. The agent has always been more important. And it's for one reason, and it's impossible to argue, is that the agent is the one who's closest to the consumer. And whoever is closest to the consumer wins. This is why no company has been able to disrupt our industry, because they're trying to disrupt the broker and the broker model, when in fact, it's the agent relationship with the consumer that is actually sort of the bedrock of this industry. So here's what I think about. As an agent right now who's listening, it's one of the big learnings that we had, Tom, is that there's a reacceleration moment for your business. If you've been beaten down by this market, if you're tired of this market, if you feel like you haven't got the results you wanted to, if you've been waiting for that 5% interest rate, is it because it ain't coming? Like if you're one of those agents listening to this podcast, like who's looking to reaccelerate, one thing, and Tom, you have a visual of this. One thing that I love is the reimagining your team. As an agent, you never had the ability to go out and hire 3 or 5 people. Economically, it wouldn't make any sense. You basically, all your profit would go to people. But we're seeing this world where humans with AIs are creating extraordinary leverage and output. And Jason Lemkin, who's the founder of SaaStr, who was on at the conference, who was basically running the show, he told the story where last year, in the last few years, he had a team of 20 people, right? This case here, like some VAs, some AEs, all that. And they were producing less revenue than 2 people today with like 10 AIs. And so what he has done is he had shifted his entire business structure to go from hiring people to hiring AIs. So as an agent, Tom, what I'm thinking about right now is I have more work than I have time, but I don't have the budget or resources to go out and hire people. So I would challenge our community and our audience to say, I need to go out there, instead of hiring people, I need to hire AIs to do very specific jobs. I call them high value workflows, things that make me money or things that save me time. I need to go out there and reimagine my business to hire these individuals so that I can continue to scale my production efficiently and, most importantly, profitably, Tom.
Yes. I put up the slide. If you're listening on audio, you might want to jump over to my YouTube channel to check this out.
Mhm.
So really fast, I'm just curious for my friend out there listening. Jimmy's talking about, older companies that are reaccelerating, and that's who, like, Jimmy, how many times do we hear this phrase? And I hear it from every private equity guy or gal I talk to. How are you capitalizing on the wave of AI? That is the
Mhm.
question amongst, I mean, if you, I pay attention to the public markets, obviously, but I pay a lot of attention to call it the top 500 PE firms in America. They are like, it is the only thing they're talking about. How are you
Yeah.
capitalizing on the wave? Too bad we didn't know somebody who's training agents on AI. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Claude Pantana. All right.
I'm the designated spokesperson for Claude
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
real estate industry now,
Yeah.
apparently.
So I want to share my last end learning, and then guys, give me some feedback on how to make this better. And by the way, Jason, I would imagine, I'm going to fix my screen really fast here. I would imagine you're going to basically take everything I'm going to say right now and you're going to put it into Claude and make it happen. And you should send it to me first. I just went
Probably.
to Claude, and here's what I said in Claude. I said, I want to build 4 things for my sales team. I want a daily brief for them to understand current market conditions, specifically around what's happening to their prospects from a emotional standpoint, a tactical standpoint, an interest rate standpoint, transaction standpoint. Like, give them a daily brief on what's happening in the market today so they're relevant. 2, I want you to go into their CRM and I want you to extract every person that they said they were going to follow up with that they haven't, every person they said they're going to follow up with, but there are no notes. I want you to essentially tell my salesperson who are all the people they need to follow up on today and make
Mhm.
recommendations to them outside of that to have a winning day in sales. This is just my prompt, by the way. I'm literally just reading it to you. Number 3, I want you to analyze their schedule and tell them what they should do and when they should do it. Obviously, don't disrupt their existing appointments already scheduled for the day. Number 4, in order to make them effective, I want you to do research on every individual they'll be talking to. So in your case, you might say, go to their LinkedIn, their Facebook, the Instagram page. In my case, I'm saying go to their Zillow page, their Realtor page, their Google page, understand their profiles, look at their Facebook, look at their Instagram, so you have some sense of who they are as a human being, so you know
Mhm.
enough about them and their business to help them make a good decision today. And literally, that was my takeaway. My takeaway
Yeah.
was, Jason was talking about it. It's the daily brief. It's extracting with Claude or another AI tool to basically examine your CRM. Who do you need to follow up on today? Who do I need to call today? Right down to what should I say? Because if I'm extracting from my notes, I should probably extract that as well. Schedule invitations, schedule or even send invitations, and then of course do prep docs so I can be effective when I call that person.
Mhm.
Jason.
I lots of light bulbs. But ask away. What's your question?
No, I mean, just, literally, we're 45 minutes into the conference. For all of you that go to conferences,
Yeah.
Jimmy was busting my chops because I can go to a conference and I can extract one big idea and say that was worth spending $35,000, to get out there, fly everybody, blah blah blah, or the cost of the event, whatever it is, um, and take that one thing and run with it and say that was worth being at the conference for the 3 days of my time and energy and
Yeah.
everything else. That was probably one of the most profound things I heard as a tactician, as a business owner, right? I have salespeople that are forgetful. I have salespeople that have life issues going on, and I can set up these tools relatively easily to help enable them to be more successful. And then I thought, well, it's not just for me, it's for every one of my clients. It's for everybody
Mhm.
that needs, I need a nudge every day. It's why,
Well,
Jason, it's why, we were in Jackson. I'm like, hey man, could you connect Claude to everything so I can,
yep.
you know what I used to do? This is embarrassing. I would take screenshots of weeks at a time of my schedule, and then I would put it into like Grok or Claude and say, analyze my week. My most important priorities are 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me how much time I spent there.
Mm.
And I felt
Mhm.
like a loser as a
Mm.
CEO when I got well, now I can just plug it into Microsoft, like now
Yep.
we can just do this stuff in real time. So you can hear my enthusiasm about it. I like learnings that punch me in the face and get me to
Yeah.
see the world differently. So
So,
Jason, thoughts on what I
so
just shared there?
So you gave me an idea. So we have inside of AIM, we have this resource here that's already doing the start of what you it's called a CRM database health audit roadblock report. And so what it does is it looks at your entire CRM data set, and then it looks at all your conversations, your histories, and all those details.
Mhm.
And it basically tells you who's hot, who's not to talk to. I'm looking at the comments,
I don't
Jimmy.
know. I don't
Jimmy's
know.
sending comments in the Zoom right
I
now.
don't know if our friend listening right now, if you don't go over to YouTube, literally, Jimmy just posted in the chat, we'll be able to take a drink every time Jason says
Hey,
it.
I'm shameless. What can I say? So there's
Shameless
to it.
self-promotion. Good book. All right. So,
So the idea is, Tom, what was cool about what you said, and this is something I would want to build. I'd make a co-work agent in Claude where it has access to your CRM data naturally. So it can give you some analytics and tell you what should I be listening for? Where's the opportunity? I like the idea of it goes to their Facebook, it goes to their LinkedIn, it goes to their Instagram, and it looks at what's going on in their life. And then I was thinking, how cool would it be so you can connect 11 Labs to Claude as well. So I've done this
Mhm.
where if I need an audio briefing, then I can just listen to a voice. You can actually make Matthew McConaughey say, hey, here's the story. And it can tell you
Mm.
about who you're getting ready to talk to. You can make it talk about what to say. You could even have your cowork agent work on emotionally, how should I deliver this point? And it can actually inject that into the way 11 Labs tells you to say it so you can hear it. And then you're basically just teed up to simulate the conversation and make the calls and say you did it. I mean, really, Tom, I really do like the idea. You could do some cool stuff with that.
yeah.
One thing too, Tom, to jump in there is a tool that we use extensively called Victor, which is app.victor.com, which is Viktor. And it can connect to all your apps, right? So you can build or buy, which is actually probably a really interesting thing that happened a lot, Jason. Is people like a lot of people are just starting to buy these tools because they don't want to basically buy code this stuff. But Victor can connect to all your business apps and be able to produce reports and just post them directly into whatever workflow tool you use, like Slack as an example. Um, I am just a huge fan of this idea of leveraging AI to be basically letting AI be your boss. That was probably one of the big themes, Tom, is like let AI be your boss
Yeah.
is the idea, which is like, you're like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't want a boss. You know what you want is you want clarity.
Yes.
You want like, hey, what's the most important thing for me to work on because the world's really busy? Well, AI can act as not your assistant where you're telling it to do things, but rather the thing that tells you what to do based on what you said was important to you to begin with. There's two people that are not going to survive this next era here, guys, in my opinion. And this is something Brian Chesky said on a podcast that Tom and I are obsessed with called The Best Like the Best. He says two people are not going to survive this next phase. Number one, it's the people managers. Meaning, if you just run meetings and route information, AI is coming for you.
Yeah.
So those people managers need to move into becoming ICs, right? Where they're actually contributing in a meaningful way. And the second type of person who's not gonna survive this next train is IC, individual contributors that don't leverage AI.
That's
I
right.
mean, it's become. I know there is a consensus amongst people in real estate that you can do what you've been doing for a long time without using some of these new tools and you'll be just fine. That's completely true. But what you have just done is saying, this is how far I want to go. You have just said, I have reached the pinnacle, right? So that will work, I think, for people who are not ambitious. But if you are like, listen to this pod, you want to grow, you want to get better, you want to get smarter, you want to do things more efficiently. I mean, this is the type of stuff that's going to really drive the needle, guys.
Absolutely.
I love it, fellas. All right, we promise we keep this at 30 minutes. So ads on ChatGPT with the right expectation, recognizing 94 to 95% of 900 million people have free accounts. And we want you as one of our friends to win. Jimmy, that re-acceleration thought. I think if every
Mhm.
person
Really do.
listening finds themselves like I do sometimes going, why have we done this? What are we, Fiddler on the Roof? We've been playing the violin and wearing a sash for 100 years because it's tradition. Like it is time to get into a re-acceleration mode. And hopefully that's got them to imagine it. I'm looking forward to Jason, you guys building out the daily brief strategy for
I love it.
team
Mhm.
members. I'm already thinking about it. So I've got Derek Caldwell coming out, this week with me at a mastermind with a bunch of top teams. Because if we can build, not if, when we build that out for those
Yeah.
teams, each one of those individual sales people are just going to be more effective. And for my friend watching, that's what we want for you. All right. I can't wait to read the comments. It's great to be back. Clearly, growth mode only seems to happen on Saturdays every fourth
Right.
month.
Right.
Save all of our busy schedules. But hey, leave us a comment. Let us know if you want more of these crazy insights. We are here to serve. Guys, I know you both got to jump, and so do I. Thanks so much for watching, my friend. I can't wait to hear what you do with what we talked about today. Stay in growth mode.